Well, let's take a trip around the continent now and look at some of those trending websites and what it tells us about the digital taste of consumers on the continent and perhaps what to expect. Right there in Nigeria, we see the top most visited website to be Google, YouTube, X videos, Nikirim.com and Facebook. When we head to Ghana, neighboring Ghana, it's almost the same thing, only that WhatsApp comes to number 5. And then we go to Kenya, and Kenya has almost the same thing, except that Kenya now introduces Gojara.to. That's for Kenya as the third country. What does this tell us about the digital taste of Africans, looking at these 3 big countries? What trends have been observed? Let's discuss this with Mark Kaigwa. He's the founder and chief executive officer of Nendo. Joins us from Nairobi. Hi, Mark. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Really happy to be here.
Good to have you here. So, I mean, we're Africans, so it's expected that it will be a common trend, you know, for major economies and the people on the continent. But what does it tell us about the consumption trend and expectation for 2024?
Well, Ini, I think for us at Nendo, the type of work that we do is research all over the continent. So Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, and other countries too, and we do marketing campaigns as well. So you need to know about the behavior, in this case of Nigerians, when they do get online. So to give an example, part of what we say is that there are 5 things that we can expect if you give a Nigerian 100 megabytes, not very much, or 100 gigabytes. For some people, that is well over 1 month's data. And these are things, like you showed, like visiting search engines, particularly Google, thanks to Android, and thanks to what's happening with Google.com as a search engine. And then we have, secondly, after that, sport. So something that Nigerians love. We saw the Super Eagles and how they really made the whole continent proud by going all the way to the last dance, as they call it. And while it might not have gone their way, they're a global powerhouse of sport. So Nigerians love not just sport, but football. And not just football, but local football in Nigeria and the English Premier League specifically. So there's a lot in that, including sports betting. That means that of every 100 megabytes that Nigerians have, a proportion of it is going to sports highlights on YouTube, and sports-related websites. And this is similar also in Kenya, certainly in Ghana as well. And then, as you've shown on the websites, we cannot hide away from adult websites. They tend to be there too. Again, you know, responsibly enjoy the adult entertainment or pleasure. It's a very matter of fact in a way that people take their phones and devices and use them. Interestingly, I'd say TikTok for social, so social media rising up as well. And lastly, I would say there's stories. So Nigerians are enjoying consuming content. In some cases, what's interesting is that illegal streaming websites are there. And what that says to the global powerhouses is, are you giving Nigerians the way to pay for their content easily, quickly, affordably, and allowing them to be served in that way? So there's so much happening online, but we're excited to talk and explore what this means for Nigeria, Kenya, and the rest of the continent.
Yeah, exactly what we want to know. What does it tell us about the economic factors, maybe or consumption and decisions of individuals in these countries?
Yes, I think economically, social media, for instance, if we look there, it's presenting an outlet. It's presenting a place to vent, to discuss matters of national importance and matters of personal importance. Sometimes Nigerians may observe what we call a phenomenon, right? In my life, on my commute to work, or in my pursuit of a job, or when I visit the supermarket or shop aisle, and they're going online to places like TikTok to chronicle that, or they're going to places like Twitter to vent, to basically express themselves. And sometimes they're finding and building online community in a way that allows them to discuss not just the economy, but certainly life as it is, whether it's in Lagos or Abuja, really, you know, north as well, kind of. You can find actually with the data that we've seen and geographically isolate and say, well, what are Nigerians in Lagos speaking of? What are the top musicians they listen to, etc.? And like you said, the economy tends to be a big recurring topic.
And we see some people are taking advantage of that to make some revenue.
That's right. I think one of the interesting things is the what we call now the creator economy. And in my view, Nigeria has always been, as a Kenyan who is active and seeking to do more business in Nigeria and other parts of the continent, Nigeria has found a window of just personal talent, culture, and this comes off of, I would say, Nollywood in particular, and certainly Nigerian music broadly in all genres, flavors, and so on. And so that creates a continental opportunity for comedians online, people who are just starting out and saying, look, the economic engine for me might not be through, a white collar job in an office, right? It might be through me and my smartphone, and I'll just build from here and go up. It could be through YouTube or Twitter, for instance, or Instagram. And so that's one of the exciting things for us is looking at online culture. You discover, like you're saying, that people aren't just playing around with their megabytes and their phones, but they're achieving some connections with Nigerian brands and even international comedy or entertainment careers armed and equipped with just a phone and an internet connection.
All right, thank you so much. An interesting conversation, which we have to continue another day because time is upon us. Thank you so much, Mark Kegwa, founder and Chief Executive Officer of Nendo.